Okay, I'll be doing a lot of videos along this theme of entrainment by attractor fields. And maybe that sounds fancy, but Jesus Christ and Buddha both said something really important. I want to keep, sharing about this, that forgive them for they know not what they do and have compassion. They're ignorant. Unfortunately, what that means is that the human ego hasn't got any capacity to differentiate the wolf in sheep's clothing. And the avatars, Jesus Christ, also realized they weren't allowed to tell you exactly why, because that's not yet the privilege of the masses to know why. They are basically nearly 100% blind and are usually making the wrong choice. I mean, as Hawkins said through his research, Hawkins is the latest avatar, and it's very, very important. I mean, if anyone wants to listen to me, I strongly recommend immersing yourself in Hawkins. His teachings are at about approximately 1,000, the highest level attainable. And he's a recent avatar, whereas Jesus Christ, but you don't have videotapes of Buddha. And unfortunately, with both Jesus Christ to a large extent, the Bible has been corrupted and changed a lot, unless you're familiar with Hawkins' muscle testing. And even Buddha's message has been corrupted to some extent through the void. So I would just stick to Hawkins. Also, Hawkins has this other thing, which is really, really important to know about the latest avatar, which was the consciousness of humanity went above integrity in 1987. So the next avatar is now is allowed to share a little bit more information with humanity. So then they were allowed to be able to be told before. So that's why I strongly recommend everyone listen to Hawkins, because there's information, even if the other avatars knew it, which they probably did, they're not allowed to tell you. And Hawkins, even though he's only allowed to tell you like a fraction of what he's allowed to tell you, and but that fraction is more than humanity has ever known. Um, so if you wanna if you wanna know more, you need a muscle tester, and you need to be an advanced student, and then things will slowly be revealed to you. But even Hawkins' work is showing that at last humanity has a tool. But I would just say you don't need to have it, muscle testing. Just continuously read Hawkins' work and watch his videos, and you'll have. I mean, if you're a serious spiritual student, you don't have to be. You can do what you like. If you want to be a serious spiritual student, I would stick with Hawkins, because he's at 1,000. He's revealing the latest spiritual information, and there isn't anything else out there. You know, like the Bible calibrates. If you just read the Bible, it doesn't calibrate at 1,000, the King James's version. Even if you were to take out Hawkins muscle tested, it'd probably calibrate 800, 900. It's still not 1,000, because there's been so many distortions, probably even of the Lamsa version translated. So if you just read something like Hawkins' books, it's undistorted. And if you'd want to see any other teacher, you understand that through Hawkins' research, most of the spiritual teachers have fallen. So, um, and as Jesus Christ said, you can't tell the wolf in sheep's clothing. So you're ignorant. You don't know what you're doing. So if you wanna gamble, then go ahead. You know, join the late master Bubaji from Africa, and just do his workshops. And for me, it would be just get gambling with my soul. Like, do I want to gamble with my soul, or do I want to the best of my ability, keep it safe? You know, I want to keep it safe, and I want the best material and only the very best. So, sticking to Hawkins, I strongly recommend it. And okay, So entrainment by attractor fields. So all the fields below integrity, fear, guilt, shame, um, addiction, all of them are actually entrainment fields. And you've got to understand, you haven't got the capacity, um, you haven't got the capacity to discern um, fields because there a lot of what you are watching and hearing and the speakers that you listen to, you haven't got a clue. So what's actually happening is you're becoming entrained by fields and not knowing it. The one of the I think the nicest example Hawkins gave was um, I have to remember what video it is. It's the video where he talks about Motown music and some of the Motown music having the anaphylactic beat in it, which is not actually the music. It's just a silent carrier beat, which entrains you negatively, and it reverses your energy field. And so you may end up just, taking some alcohol, drugs, and uh, and really getting your energy fields um, aligned with very, very negative energy fields. Um, you know, um, these energy fields, for example, computer games, these are like living, and think of them like living energy fields. So the darker energy fields are orchestrating people who are aligned with those energy, probably people watching horror movies and violent films regularly, are being entrained into these very negative energy fields. They're being enslaved. It's enslavement by the field where your thoughts and your actions and your motives are just being dominated by these fields. So you probably end up being, if you're going to do a career, you're going to be making violent video games where you're shooting all your classmates. Yeah, and you don't really know this, but you're being entrained by those energy fields. So yes, I'm going to make £1 million making violent video games so that children can just shoot their classmates non-stop over and over again and gain points and gain rankings. Like can I shoot more schoolmates than my friends in a big sort of scoreboard? It sounds like fun, doesn't it? And I mean, being entrained in that way has very, very dark consequences. So you think it's fun watching a few horror movies and playing some video games. But there's a what you don't realize is that these fields you can see them like each field is an entrainment. And once you become aligned with negative energy fields, as we know in the fellowships, they're gateways to take you down to the next level lower. So in the beginning, you start off, well, I'm just watching a horror movie. Then you're playing violent video games. The next minute you know, you're getting all kinds of thoughts and behavioral things that you would not have done 2 or 3 years earlier ago when you were just watching the odd horror movie. So it's you don't want to. How do you just haven't got a clue. Like Hawkins said, if you watch adverts, I think you blow your energy meridians out and become your energy field gets negatively reversed something like 17 times just to watch a few adverts. They're masterfully created to hypnotize you and entrain you into, buying their goods or wanting to buy a car because there's a sexy model sitting on top of it. So all of these things, all this garbage should be and the entrainment that and the belief systems that you're taking on. So you think it's harmless. I'm going to watch several ads and then watch a horror movie and then play some video games afterwards. But you don't really actually recognize what's happening to your soul. So if you want to do, I mean, either you're in the service of, I recommend, I want my soul to be given to the light. So I want to be 12-step groups are great, Course in Miracles groups, but for me, the ultimate, of course, is Hawkins' work. 12-step groups calibrate around unconditional love. I think it's the minimum spirituality that one should aim for, salvation. And then yeah, of course, the miracles, the lessons are at 600. So entrainment with just doing the lessons every day or every 5 minutes, super powerful at the field of 600. Doing service regularly in 12 steps is unconditional love, not as intense as the Course in Miracles. And then Hawkins' work, the highest levels of enlightenment. So it's not entrainment, it's actually releasing all the bondages of the lower negative energy entrainments back into the infinite light. So it's undoing. 12 steps is undoing the addictions. Course in Miracles is undoing the addiction to thought and the ego system. And then Hawkins' work is going from enlightenment, which is, uh, where the Course in Miracles leaves off to the first levels of enlightenment all the way up to an avatar level. And that's another question you'll have later on. Do you want to be enlightened or do you want to be an avatar? So Hawkins' work gives you that, which would take you to an avatar, which would be super, super intense work. But one avatar is counterbalancing probably the negativity of the whole world. So if you want to be of maximum service to God, um, minimum would be 12 steps. To be of more service to God would be the Course in Miracles and Enlightenment. And to be of the highest service to God would commit to the intense intensity of being an avatar, which is actually extremely require extreme intensity over a sustained period of time until all is done. So it just depends what you want to do for this lifetime, or you can just watch video games and play video games and horror movies. I mean, you get the choice of what you want to do, and I think the sad thing is if humanity is blind, they don't know what they're doing, uh, where their souls are going to end up if they are blindly, unconsciously aligning themselves with the wrong fields. Hence, Hawkins' work is to, I think the light in a world of negative entrainment. So I recommend immersing yourself and surrendering to the light and the higher fields of light, and rather, or like 85% of humanity is negative. The media, a lot of it is in training you negatively. A lot of the movies are in training you into energy fields you don't want to be entrained into. The films. So this world is just waiting to entrain you into fields that are not good for you. So immersing, being a dedicated spiritual student to letting go of your attachments and entrainments, and having a true teacher, um, is for me. I mean, I can speak for myself. I want my soul to be in the best possible hands. So I want the best possible teacher and the best possible materials. And I mean, like, if I'm leaving the body. And God asks, like, what did you do with your life? I gave you all the best stuff, and you just watched horror movies your whole life. So, but I think I have to come back here probably. Anyway, maybe may have to come back. I haven't got a clue. All right, I'll stop there.